Hi, everyone. This is Audrey Moore with the Audrey Helps Actors podcast. We have new episodes for you starting April 28th in preparation for a buoyant Self-Tape-May. But before that, we're going to release a couple of refresher episodes about Self-Tape-May. It's coming up. Get ready. We're also going to have a live event, so follow us on Instagram to get all the info. Come down and see us. Come meet your community. Let's do it, friends. Have friends, make friends, find friends. Until then, enjoy this refresher episode. Hi, everybody. I'm Audrey Moore with the Audrey Helps Actors podcast, and this is episode 111. Looking for your fellow brethren in Self-Tape-May 2024. Today we have the Self-Tape-May 2023 winner, drawn at random, Jo Marie Lawrence. Applause, 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 applause. Jo Marie Lawrence is an actor who you may have seen in one of her many commercials, including Target, Meta, and Indeed, and she was randomly chosen as the winner of Self-Tape-May 2023. We discuss Self-Tape-May strategies, how to advocate for yourself with production and your reps, and how awesome the Self-Tape-May prizes are. Okay, we've got Self-Tape-May. Self-Tape-May, 16 tapes, 1 month. Can you do it? Yes, you can. We've got Bridgerton as a theme. If you want to do Bridgerton, I love Bridgerton. So I was like, I want to see your Bridgerton scenes because you love Bridgerton too. So let me see your Bridgerton. We're also talking transformation. So maybe you do Bridgerton in many different countries. I would love that. Give me like a Bridgerton from the deep south. Give me a Bridgerton from Russia. Give me a Bridgerton from South Africa. I love it. I want it. I want to see it. We also have a really exciting open scene that Castability has made for us. I'm going to talk more about that with them, what an open scene is. If you don't know, Google it. It's outstanding. Winner of Self-Tape-May this year gets 1 year of Casting Networks, a Castability subscription, a self-tape session with Jeff Pride at Self-Tapes Here, and so much more. Sign up for free. This is free, always free. My favorite price, free at SelfTapeMay.com. You guys, the review baby is being fed. Yum, 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 yum. By Mark Jacobson, Tickle May. I hope it's Tickle Me. Tickle May. Just give me a little Tickle May. And Swaggy-On. Thank you so much for feeding the review baby, because the review baby gets so hungry. I need some yum-yums. Some yum-yums, yum-yums. So you can go to ratethispodcast.com/Audrey. ratethispodcast.com/Audrey. If you are a person who has listened to this podcast maybe for the first time, maybe for years, and you have never left a review, I am shattered. My heart is shattered on the floor while looking at this sad review baby who just wants a little nourishment from your reviews. It helps us. It helps the algorithms. ratethispodcast.com/Audrey. This week's podcast is brought to you by Castability.Actor. Also brought to you by Self-Tapes Here and SingingLessonsLosAngeles.com. All right, everybody, I hope you're on your way to an audition, or your friend is on their way to help you self-tape, and I hope you book it. Book it, book it, book it, book it, book it, book it. You're gonna book it. You'll do some Self-Tape-May, and then you'll get some real auditions, and you'll book it. You'll book it, book it. You're gonna book it, book it, book it, book it, book it. Audrey helps actors because they don't know anything. Hi, everybody. I'm Audrey Moore with the Audrey Helps Actors podcast, and today we have
Jo Marie Lawrence.
Jo Marie. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hi.
I'm so glad you're here.
I'm so stoked to be here.
So you are the Self-Tape-May 2023 random drawing winner.
Yeah.
You completed all 16 tapes in the month of May in 2023, and then we did a random number generator, and then your number popped up. We got your name, and I'm so glad.
Yeah, I was so surprised.
I'm so excited because the moment I looked at your account and then announced you, everyone is a huge fan of you, which is really lovely.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone was like, oh my God, I loved you. I love Jo Marie. So tell everyone a little bit about your landscape. I always ask, like, are you union? Do you have reps? Do you audition? Do you audition commercially, theatrically, voiceover, theater? Like, give me the sketch.
Yeah. So right now I'm SAG eligible, non-union.
Uh-huh.
I am
Pre-member. We don't call it non-union.
Oh, pre-member.
Yeah, because you're going to join. It's just a matter of time.
Just a matter of time.
Great.
And I am repped.
Yes.
A little bit of a funny subject.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I feel like this year's been interesting with auditions, but I've auditioned a lot commercially. I've booked a lot commercially, which has been great experience. And then theatrically, I started auditioning in 2022 for the first time.
And you weren't here yet, right?
And I know this. I was still in San Francisco area. I feel like it was great in 2022. I was getting auditions that I wouldn't normally get. And then 2023 kind of slowed down a bit. So yeah, it's kind of just been all over the place.
2023 did slow down a little bit because...
Everyone, the strike.
Right. We were all on strike. To be fair, we were all on strike.
Yeah.
You know, you can't be like, well, 2023 was just like weirdly slow. It's like, was it weirdly slow? Or was it just massive strikes? Okay, very good. And so how has your momentum been in terms of theatrically? Were you auditioning like once every month, or and what kinds of projects are we talking about? Co-stars, talking about films? Tell us.
I would say it was a lot of network television, procedurals, and guest stars. And then also I didn't get that many co-stars. Just because I think I'm in a very specific niche. Sometimes I would get some really great like series regular auditions, but no, I would say like maybe 1 to 2 a month, maybe. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. So you're like, I'm in a very specific niche. So there are going to be people who aren't watching us but are just listening to us. Do you want to tell anyone about your niche?
Yes. So I am a wheelchair user, part of the disability community. It's different, but it's great. I'm getting, I would say, more doors are open now that I am a wheelchair user.
Fascinating.
For me. Yeah.
And you are a newer-ish wheelchair user. That's correct. So you were not somebody who was born and then has been in a wheelchair all your life.
Yeah. I actually lived here in LA in 2016 when I was non-disabled back then. And I lived here till 2018. And then I moved to New York for 6 months to do a Meisner program.
Whoop.
And then I went snowboarding with my family and had an accident in Whistler, which led to me breaking my neck, unfortunately. And then that led to me needing to move home to San Francisco. And I was dependent on my family. Didn't really know what my outcome was going to be with spinal cord injury. You just don't really know. Yeah. So I spent a year recovering. Also didn't know if acting was even going to be in the picture.
Sure.
Especially back then, there was no wheelchair users on the screen. Like Ali Stroker hadn't even won a Tony. So people were like, oh, what are you going to do now? Because it wasn't in anyone's mind. And then COVID happened and everything went online. So I started to kind of take classes again, which was great. It like changed my whole mindset. And then I got a few big auditions that I was like, oh, I didn't get this when I was non-disabled. Like, this door is huge. This is amazing. This is great. Yeah.
Yeah, I love having you on to talk about it. And I'm so grateful that you won and that you were willing and able and excited to come on, because I personally know a solid handful of people that are actors that then something happens that renders them disabled in some manner.
Yeah.
A friend of mine lost her hands in childbirth.
Oh, wow.
And a friend of mine went blind. 2 friends of mine actually, mouth cancer with tongue removal.
Oh my gosh.
So, this is the thing, is that a lot of stuff happens that obviously we're not planning on.
Yeah.
And whether or not you are able to, or interested in continuing along the path of being an actor in conjunction with this life happens reality. I'm really grateful that we can have that conversation.
Yeah.
Because it's different in its story than somebody who's perhaps that's how they've been their entire life.
Yeah, totally.
And can make those choices versus somebody who lived a life one way as an actor and then now is faced with a different set of limitations around that.
Yeah. And it's like, do you want to continue acting? It does look different. And then there's the whole like grief that comes with that. And then seeing how people treat you differently. And luckily, LA is like a very inclusive place for the most part. And everyone wants to be very welcoming and accommodating, which is great. But yeah, it's definitely different.
Did you go to therapy?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know. Maybe being an actor, I was like, I need to talk to someone. Like, I need to get my mental game in check. Poor student. I went to like a lot of graduate therapy programs, and I think they just didn't know what to do with me because they were like, whoa, okay. And then I actually found a really great therapist, and I've been working with her ever since because, after the accident, I mean, did this Meisner program, right, where you like completely open up, and then I had this accident, and I was like, I don't want to feel any emotions, and I'm just going to, shut down. And so I would say the therapy definitely helped pry me back open. Yeah,
that's great.
Huge advocate for that.
I'm the big, obviously.
Yeah, I know. I love that.
Well, what I always tell people is, if you are a athlete, right? First of all, athletes go to like therapy. But if you're like an elite athlete, you go to physical therapy on a regular basis because you are working your body to its max. And so it doesn't make sense to me that we have this idea that actors who are being emotional on a regular basis and working their emotional capacity to the max as different experiences throughout the week.
Yeah.
And then they're like, therapy, who needs that? I'm like, I think you do.
Yeah.
I think you're one of them.
Definitely.
You gotta do it.
Yeah.
Really great. I'm glad you have that support.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. Especially, I would say, like, the depth of my emotions changed after the accident. Just experiencing, such low lows and some high highs. But, that changed a lot. And then just, like, my appreciation for my family changed. There was just a lot that changed.
Well, you grew up fast.
Right? Definitely.
It's like a light switch.
Figured out what my priorities were. Yeah.
That's it. Oh, trauma.
Yeah. Love it. Love it.
Life-changing trauma. Yeah. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit about your decision to do SelfTapeMay and why and what and how you managed to be supporting yourself and how you got through it. I think a lot of people just generally confused by SelfTapeMay. And I want always to have the winner to come on and just talk about the experience of doing the 16 tapes, how that went for you, what changes, if any, did you experience through going through that, and what did you learn?
So I think SelfTapeMay, I saw it because my friends were doing it in 2020.
Which friends? Shout them out.
Austin Karras, my number one. Love him. He's my reader for like everything.
Love.
But yeah, I was like, what is that? That's interesting. That looks fun. And then the next year came around, 2022, and I tried to hop on it quickly, and I completed it with my friend Austin.
Great.
Yeah, I wouldn't say my tapes were the greatest, but they were there, and I got through it.
And was that your objective that year? Was
it
to
was
like
just to get through it? Totally.
Great.
Which I think is like great. It's
objective. Amazing.
Yeah. It was a great experience. And then the next year I was like, well, maybe when I'm watching TV, I will like jot down in my notes, like, this would be a great scene to try out for SelfTapeMay.
Oh my gosh, let's pause because that's exactly right. So you saw it and you're like, and then you tried it. You're like, I'm just going to get through it. And then as you got through it, you got more intentional throughout the year and found characters that you thought you would like to work on for the following year. So I just want everyone to know, in terms of expectations, you don't have to annihilate SelfTapeMay your first year around.
Yeah.
Like, you can just get through it with 16 co-stars. You could just do that. You could do plays you've already done before, like whatever it is, just to get it done.
Yeah.
And then if you're like, that went well, then you can refine what you want to get from the next year. So you were like, I'm going to work on television, roles that excite me, or what?
Well, I think the biggest goal, 2022, I had my account on private because I was like, no one else can see this. I don't know what I'm going to put out there. So 2023, Austin as well, we both were like, let's make our accounts public. And I was like, this is terrifying because for me, coming from a commercial background, not really putting much theatrical out there, I was like, people are going to see these tapes and like, they're not going to know maybe I wanted to try this one in one take, or maybe, this isn't my best work. I'm just trying, I just didn't want to put work that was not perfect out there. But doing that, I feel like it totally like was a release, and I just feel like it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care.
And tell me how that's affected your work in general, if it has, and what was the impetus for that change? And do you recommend for people to maybe try at first having it all in private so that it's just for you and getting through it versus putting it on public and being a little exhibitionist about it?
Yeah. I mean, if you want to just try SelfTapeMay and you don't want others to have expectations and you don't want expectations, go for it, put it on private. But putting it on public was great because it gave me more confidence to just try more things, and it doesn't matter if you fail and fall on your face. And also, I mean, you've created like such a cool community. I love it, like watching other people's tapes and they're commenting on yours and you're commenting on theirs, and then sometimes you're like doing the same thing and you didn't even, it's like a scene from 5 years ago, and it's just so cool. So yes, I highly recommend putting it on public.
And do you love that it's free?
Yeah. And it's like fun. I love, like, it's May.
Fun.
It's fun.
It's May. Yeah.
SelfTapeMay, guys. Everyone do it.
Good. Well, the reason is in May, I feel like it's always kind of like a little slump of a month. Now, it's been weird because of strikes and all those things. So we've kind of like been a slump of 4 years. But generally speaking, you would have this momentum going from January through April, and then May is always dead. And there's no commercials happening. There's no films happening. There's nothing happening because fall episodics don't pick back up until end of summer. And so I was like, instead of being depressed, let's act.
Yeah.
And then maybe we'll be depressed in our acting. And at least then it's going somewhere.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like great to like try things out. Like I was like, what is this scene going to look like if I did a workshop? And watching it, I'm like, ooh, maybe not. Or like, this is what I need to change. Or just trying out procedurals are tough for me, I feel. And I tried out a few of those. Or I even tried out a scene that I did a few years ago in class to see the change in that. So
did you see a change?
Yeah, totally. And
what kind of change did you see?
Well, even from my self-tapes from 2022 to 2023, I just feel like I played a little bit more. I think that was also a goal for 2023, just to like be more free and have fun. And my last tape, I like decided I was going to do like a reality television because I was watching it.
I love that one.
It's like, why not?
Yes.
And that was like, oh, look at that. My last tape, I really felt like I don't give a fuck, and I'm just going to be free and do what I want.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're marked explicit.
Creatively.
You can curse as much
Okay,
as
I was going to say, am I allowed to?
No.
I do have a potty
we are
mouth.
very ditto. I am such a sailor.
Trying not to.
It's devastating. No, please curse as much as you want. My friends want to listen to it on their way to take their kids to school, and they're like, I can't. And I'm like, sorry.
Sorry, yes.
I love that. And tell everybody also, I'm really interested in people in a couple things this season. This season, our theme is really sustainability and story. So understanding story and also having a pattern that is sustainable. And the reason I also really like SelfTapeMay as a concept is most people say that they want that many auditions. Yeah. Every actor is like, so, well, you auditioning? Is like, well, I wish I auditioned more, but yeah, I go out sometimes. Yeah. And they think in their head that they want 16 auditions a month. And then they get 8 in a month and they're like, oh my God, I can't. That was
handle
crazy.
it.
Yeah, exactly. And so one of the things I'm always checking to see is not only the volume something you can handle in terms of acting, but your energy, your time, your money, your camaraderie, your teammates in order to get things done. Like, does your attitude start to really suck at tape number 5? Because if it does, then that's something maybe to look at in terms of how you can change and alter the scope of your life to support the volume of auditions that you intend to have.
Yeah, totally. And I feel like practicing that is something that after 2022 doing it, I was like, oh, wow, that was tough. Trying to balance having a social life, trying to balance doing other work. It's not easy. And if it's not fun because of that, then I obviously need to practice more.
Yes.
I was taking this class online where you do a self-tape, send it in, talk about it, and he would give them over the weekend, and sometimes they'd be like 8 pages. And the first time I did it, I was like spending all weekend on it, and I was like, well, I can't even do anything else. So I was like, well, I'm not going to do this class. And then I was like, wait, no, I should be doing this to practice because this is what I want, right? So I need to be able to balance that.
That's why during the strikes, we fought for weekends not to count as part of our 2 days.
There we go. Love that. Thank you, union.
Thank you, union, and everyone who fought for that because it's a big deal. It makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I also really want to talk about in terms of sustainability is managing your time, energy, and money and community. Do you feel like you learned a lot about how to be better suited and prepared for all of that?
Yeah, I think just because of the amount, like it's 16 tapes, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And to be able to sustain that and like energy-wise by tape 8, I was like, oh wait, I ran out of things that I want to do. I have to go research and find more scenes. And yeah, I do think I kind of dipped around 8 and had to kind of try and find some more fun by 10. But I think having a community helps because I was getting inspired by other people's tapes. My friend Austin, we were like, I feel like, my friend Austin, my friend Andrea, we really have to like keep each other accountable and keep each other in check. And I think without that, I probably would have just stopped, right? And having someone there or anyone or friends that can actually tape with you.
Yeah. Like also everyone just DM someone for their sides.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, what about sides? What about sides? Like if you see somebody's sides that you would like to work on, DM them and say, hey, can you send me those sides?
Yeah.
That way you don't have to like scouring the world. And in fact, you can go on to past SelfTapeMay. If you just go #SelfTapeMay and you just start looking at them now, find people, find sites, ask them to send them to you. They will send them to you.
Yeah, that's so true. I'm going to do that this year.
Were you going to say that's a great idea?
I was going to say that's a brilliant idea.
I was voted best ideas in junior high school. So anytime anyone truly, literally.
I love that. That is so
It's so weird.
That's hilarious.
Like
that's
who
great.
does that? So whenever anyone says that's a great idea, I'm always like, well,
let me tell you.
But wait, Jo Marie, wait. I have to interrupt you. This Jo Marie update is brought to you by Self-Tapes here. Jeff Pride is awesome. He is a session runner. I use the service myself. He does fantastic coaching. He's also good to just be an outstanding actor, acting with you while you do your self-tapes. Some people like actual coaching. Some people are like, I just want a really good reader. And he is fantastic. And now that you've done some scenes for SelfTapeMay, now try coaching with Jeff for the next one and see if you see a difference. I really encourage everyone to try working with a coach, try working by yourself, and see what you like, see what works. Message Jeff on Instagram at SelfTapes here. All right, please call us with your questions and or stories. I love your stories. I do. 667-ACTOR-70. That's 667-228-6770.
Hi, Audrey. It's Jo. I just wanted to talk about the SelfTapeMay prizes that I won. This year was literally so mind-blowing. There were so many, seriously, I couldn't believe it. I think I got Kara Shute Rosenbaum and Erica Bream, their co-star class. I won an hour coaching session with Jeff Price. I won headshots with Bella. I won Amy Linden's intro class, and then a year subscription to Castability. So thank you. It was just unreal. I could not believe the package this year. I think they were all really helpful, to be honest. I think Kara Shute Rosenbaum and Erica Bream's co-star class was really amazing because of how informative it was. They really have a great detailed class, and I learned a lot from that, which I was surprised by because I was like, I know co-stars. No, there's more information to learn. So I highly recommend that. And then Jeff Price is just so sweet. I coached with him for a self-tape audition this year actually, and it was really, really helpful. And then Bella's headshots, I think the specificity that she has, and she knows what she's doing and she knows what she's looking for when you're talking about certain shows with her. And yeah, I feel like for me, the headshots turned out pretty great. I liked them. And then Castability too. I mean, here I am talking about all of them. They're so helpful. The Castability was really fun to just like try different things, and the feedback that I got was really informative too, like letting me know, oh, you're actually pretty good at comedy, and that's kind of easier for you. And I actually won a horror, which was really cool. So thank you. The prizes were pretty epic this year. I loved it. I'm so stoked.
This Jo Marie update is also brought to you by Castability. Download the app for free and sign up for free. And they are going to send you a promo code to download enough free sides for the entire SelfTapeMay season. Okay. Original scenes are written by a really great writer's room, and they have roles for all sorts of actors, all kinds, all types, all categories. But wait, that's not all. Do you want some feedback from a casting professional on your self-tape? Give it a try for free. My favorite price, free, with Castability.Actor. You can find out your strengths and weaknesses by real casting professionals who will give feedback in 5 categories: believability, specificity, creativity, personality, one of my favorites, and finally, castability. They will choose who won the role. Visit Castability.Actor/SelfTapeMay for free sides, the free open scene we're doing, and for your free submission to their casting professionals. Call us with your listener questions and or stories, 667-ACTOR-70. That's 667-228-6770.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
What are you experiencing in terms of energy management? Because what you said that I really liked was by tape 8, you get a little deflated. And I always tell people tape 1 through 5 is easy, and tape 13 through 16 is easy. But 6 through 12 is when you're right? And I tell people, that's true often in real auditions. So I had 5 auditions this week, which was awesome.
Yeah.
One of them was a retape. I taped it. I sent it. Casting called me back and was like, I need you to completely change your look and do it again. Can you do it in a couple hours? And I was like, yes, I will. So that's a part of it.
Yeah.
Right? And so sometimes you are going to be burnt out.
Yeah.
And it's going to be something that you love. It's going to be a role that is perfect for you. But there's no juice left to squeeze in that orange.
Yeah.
I'm tapped out.
Yeah.
Right? And so I have found part of what is nice about either coaches or friends, coaches, whatever, readers, however it is anyone particularly likes to work, is that I will call somebody sometimes and I will be like, this is me. I'm going to act it out for everybody. Okay. Because that's who I am. I'll be like, hey, I got this tape and it's a really good role. And I've just had such a busy week. Are you around tomorrow, anytime in the evening? Because I'm just, I've got nothing left and I need to steal your energy. Yeah, that would be great. Oh, thank you so much. And then I go, and then they're so generous with their energy because I've already communicated to them in advance, I'm done, I'm tapped out. But in them just giving their generosity of energy and enthusiasm, and I mean, sometimes I arrive like this.
Oh,
and
wow.
in 20 minutes of working with their generous energy, I'm like, yeah, fun. Oh my God, acting. This is a really good time. And it's also true on sets. If you're working a project long term, you're going to get burnt out.
Yes, I'm sure.
No, but it's
I'm
real.
Yes.
She's like, oh my God, it's so
actually I'm a series
true.
regular. Surprise.
Right. When I shot that Target commercial for 30 days, it really wiped me out.
For that 2-second little spot, totally.
No, but it's like any job, if you're doing it, you're usually on set 12 hours a day, several days a week.
Yeah.
And even the days that you're not actually on set, you're learning your scenes for the next day that you shoot and you're working that. And it's a very active and engaged process like SelfTapeMay, right? And so it's good to know how to practice managing your energy at the level in which you want to be achieving, because that's just training.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that that's all training was.
Really?
Well, because I thought of training like sports.
Yeah.
And then I was in college and you're acting training. And I was like, I like acting.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was no, you want to act
You need
on set 12 hours a day, 5 days a week. So you better act 12 hours a day, 5 days a week to see if your body and voice and emotions and spirit and family and life can handle it.
Totally. And I think with my injury too, that added another level of, can I do this? And am I going to be exhausted? Am I taking care of I have to take care of my body in a different way now.
Tell me about that.
It's a high priority because I'm technically a quadriplegic and it's an incomplete injury, which means that I gained return past the level of my injury. But sometimes that comes with other things. Like my body needs to be stretched like 2 times a day. I have to be careful with my back. I have to make sure I'm standing, make sure I'm hydrated. There's just, which everyone should be hydrated.
Right. I mean,
but
this is Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Like, stay hydrated.
Guys, come on. But yeah, I have to keep that in mind as well. And I think even when I was getting back into acting, I stopped doing PT because I was like, I love acting. This is all I want to do. And then it was like, oh, I need to find that balance, which like everyone, you need to find the balance of work and like your community and then also trying to do acting.
Yeah, it's interesting because I wonder, do you have an experience that because your disability is so visible, that do you feel any wiggle room or extra permission maybe, or the opposite, to really demand what you need from production or agents or whoever it is that is asking of you?
I feel like because I'm trying to compete with non-disabled people, I feel like I need to keep up. And sometimes I have to remind myself like, hey, you actually can't do that physically. So yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
It is tough.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that works with production on like a theatrical set.
It depends
per
on
se.
how kind the set is.
Yeah.
Honestly, like there are some sets where, I mean, it's on fire and they gotta move.
Yeah.
And there are some sets that are on fire and they gotta move, but it's such a well-oiled machine that they are rock stars at making sure things are prepared. And they will literally, like if you were a series regular on a show that's been on for, say, 5 years and you were coming on in the 6th year, usually by that time it's a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
And you're an intentional part of the ensemble. So they're going to make sure that they're checking in with you and getting you what you need and communicating how to get the best performance of you, which might even include they shoot you first and they always shoot you in the morning. Right? So things like that do happen.
Okay, that's great to know. Yeah.
Especially because here's the secret code for everyone. When you start talking safety on set, everyone has to take you seriously. Because no one wants to be the person that you bring up a safety concern and then somebody, yourself or others, gets hurt.
Yeah.
Because then that person who ignored your safety concern is now directly responsible for the fact that if something happens to you, they are culpable and liable.
Oh, wow.
So anytime I have anything, I'm like, well, safety-wise. And then it's like, oh,
What are you saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, safety. Okay, I'll take it seriously. So I always try to find a way to tie it into safety if I can, because then it gets taken seriously because it has to.
But then for me, it's also like the balance of the idea of like being like a diva and too much and needing too much.
Oh, I'd love to talk about that. Tell me about that.
Well, like I feel like so far I've been okay and I haven't really needed to ask for different circumstances. But speaking up, I feel like you don't want to ask for too much because you don't want to potentially annoy people, but you also need to think about what you actually need.
Do you have an on-set advocate?
No, I don't think so.
This is something that I'm really interested in, honestly. I wonder if through the SAG Actors with Disabilities group, I wonder if there is a way to bring in the contract or have in the contract some way of having a disability advocate on set.
Yeah.
Because part of it is, as an agent, like an agent is supposed to be the person that takes the fall for you, right?
Yeah.
So ideally, if I'm like, well, I can't shoot that weekend, like I have something going on, then your agent doesn't throw you under the bus and it's like, well, I wanted to, blah, 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 but she's being a diva.
Yeah.
So the agent will be the face and voice of whatever the concern or conflict is, so that you aren't the person taking the hit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so then I'm just wondering, because I know when you're on set, it's really hard to advocate for yourself,
Totally.
especially when you're newer. And that's, I think, no matter the ability, but certainly I'm sure in a disability situation, like you said, you're competing with people who are able-bodied.
Yeah.
So a pressure, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the last thing anyone wants is A, for you to not be safe.
Yeah.
And B, for you to not be able to give your best performance
Totally.
because A, you don't feel safe, or B, you have run out of juice because they didn't take into consideration that maybe because of your physical state, your energy might lull at this time and you need to take that into consideration.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if there's a way to do that. Do you know, in headshots, I really recommend everyone have like a headshot advocate come to their headshot session.
Oh, wow.
Because I don't know if you've experienced this, but like you get in headshots and you're like, well, I kind of want this. And they're like, absolutely, we'll do the exact opposite. And you're like, oh, okay, sounds
Yep.
great. You know, and you're like, yeah, I'm just put on a leather jacket. That's
Yeah.
my casting.
That's
Right?
true. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I recommend to people like bring somebody so that way when you don't have the ability, you can just like look at your friend and be like, and they'll be like, oh, yeah, I think maybe not leather jacket. What do you think? Do you think leather jacket?
Yeah,
And you're
yeah.
like, I don't know. So like, I think we're not. And then you just have somebody who can help you advocate for your needs.
Yeah. No, that's great. That would be helpful.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, but you're right. Like, I like what you said about being newer too, because I don't know what the expectations are. And
It's hard to advocate for yourself, and especially whether it's on purpose and nefarious or accidental and just in a rush, there is so much exploitation that occurs in our industry. I mean, all industries, but certainly ours. And learning how to speak up for yourself, and if you can't, making sure that you have the right people surrounding you who can.
yeah.
Have you, when you book commercials, have you ever gone on set and made friends with somebody before you got there or when you got there?
Yeah. I mean, I actually got to bring my mom
Great.
in the beginning because I wasn't driving then. I
Yeah,
still needed
yeah.
help, especially when wardrobe was like, hey, try on 12 pairs of leggings. And I'm like, hey guys, that's really hard for me to do, but I will.
Gosh.
But yeah, so I brought my mom in the beginning a lot, but I did tell her to stay quiet. So
That's hilarious.
yeah.
Do you know that you can ask wardrobe to get the brands that you need?
No,
Oh my God, you guys.
this is great.
This is going to be really great. I'm going to talk to the camera because they're really excited. Okay. So in general, wardrobe will call, and they can't always make it happen depending on the time constraints. If there are things that in particular you know that gets used a lot and you want to just have it just in cases that they don't have the time to make it happen, I do that. I'm rather tall, and so it's hard to fit me off the rack. So I have a lot of things. However, that's not how it should be, but to each their own. But when they call, you can say, hey, yes, so I am actually a wheelchair actress. And I don't know if you're familiar with these brands, because they're the brands that make it easier for you to take your clothes on and off, right? There are these brands, and I look really good and fit really well, and they're easy to get on and off. For these ones, if I have to go to the bathroom, I have to do any of that. If you guys are trying to be in a hurry on set, and then I send them a link.
Wow, that's
And
cool.
with the sizes, and they will order them for you and have them ready for you.
That is great to know. Amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
They often like to know what your brands are that fit off the rack. So I'll tell them like J. Crew Tall, Theory, blah, blah, blah. And then I come in and they have all the stuff they pulled and then all the stuff that they bought for me that I said is the stuff that fits me off the rack. And then everything is like a glove, and they're like, J. Crew,
Amazing.
Theory.
Or they'll have, which I guess is different with the ease of putting clothes on and off, but the seamstress, like on set, which is incredible. They're so
incredible.
fast.
So fast.
I'm just like, oh, now the pants are different and they fit. Amazing.
But and also that depends on time.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking about you in terms of being a person who needs to quickly go from set to the restroom, come back, be back and ready to be filming. Probably accessibility is something ease of accessibility is something that would be helpful for you.
Yeah, definitely.
And since people like woke up and are like, people with disabilities need clothes that we put on differently than able-bodied people,
totally.
right?
Yeah.
So I would highly suggest knowing what those are, knowing which ones you like, and knowing what sizes fit you, and having maybe 1 or 2 things that you own yourself and always bring them, and then tell them that you want them, and then you can buy it from them at a discounted cost when you wrap.
Love that. You're like, shop for me, thank you.
Yeah, but really. Because then you wear it for every other audition and you'll book in it and then you already have it.
Yeah, I love that.
But wait, Jo Marie, wait. I have to interrupt you. This Jo Marie update is brought to you by Singing Lessons Los Angeles. Get your voice to match your casting or change your casting. Love them both. It's called variety. We like transformation. Transformation vocally as well as physically. Improve your strength and diction, articulation, fix that vocal fry, eliminate nasality, release tension from the voice, accent reduction, add singing to your abilities. He loves working with absolute beginners as well as highly experienced singers. And most importantly, it's a very safe space. He's very encouraging and kind. I personally worked with Greg for years. He is wonderful. He got me in shape for a few projects that I was working on. He is great and he is affordable. He's great with tons of vocal issues for singers, people who need help with their breath control. You guys, we have to breathe. We got to breathe. Breath is life. Life is breath. If you're acting and not breathing, everyone loses. So I recommend singinglessonslosangeles.com. Go to singinglessonslosangeles.com. All right. Call us with questions at 667-ACTOR-70. That's 667-ACTOR-70.
Hi, Audrey. It's Jo again. If I had any advice to anyone doing Self-Tape-May this year in particular, I know this year has been really tough with the strike. I'm sure a lot of people feel exhausted and burnt out, and I'm very, very grateful for everyone who fought so hard. But I think Self-Tape-May could just be a fun process to get your creative juices flowing again and keep that momentum up. I feel like it really helped me last year with that. And then also remember it's a learning process. Don't look at it like it has to be perfect, because that was definitely one of my goals last year. I think that might take some of the pressure off, just keeping in mind that it's a learning thing and it's fun. And I highly recommend going public if you're scared. It was so awesome last year just because I got to connect with so many people and watch their tapes and they watched mine. And it's just, Audrey has created this amazing community. So I really, really, really recommend getting involved with that. And then my last piece of advice is to have an accountability partner, because it does get a little bit challenging by tape 8, maybe 7 even. So having someone else to make sure that you're doing it and they're doing it, and it just makes it a lot easier. And then I just also wanted to say thank you so much, Audrey. Your podcast has really, really, really helped me, and I know so many other people. But I just have a memory because my mom and I used to go to my shoots together right after my injury and when I started acting again, and we would actually listen to your podcast on the way to my shoot and the way back. So it was a cute little bonding thing between me and my mom. She could not believe that I was going to be on your podcast. It's just surreal to think, whoa, this is where I am now and that's where I was then. Just thank you for all the information you've been giving to everyone and how transparent you are. Really, really appreciate that. And then also, I would love to plug the Disability Film Challenge. Disabled creators just participated in this 5-day Disability Film Challenge, and you can look it up on YouTube. It's Easterfield's Disability Film Challenge. There's 135 films. They're really funny because it's buddy comedy this year. Mine is called Take Care, if you want to check it out. If you want to support disabled creators and go watch their hilarious stories, I definitely recommend checking that out. Thank you so much, Audrey. Appreciate it.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
So I wanted to talk to you now about whatever you want to talk about. I know that you have been participating in Self-Tape-May. I know that you just moved in January. Mm-hmm. I know that you had your 5 years in the wheelchair in March. Is that right?
December.
Oh, December.
Yeah.
But March was your, was your birthday.
birthday. And yeah. Pisces.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Ta-da.
Yeah.
So do you have any questions for me? Is there anything you want to talk about?
I mean, I would love to discuss KMR.
Let's talk about KMR.
Yeah.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know, you were with an agency that started stealing people's money. And I want everyone to know we are going to have an accountant who is an accountant for actors who is with this agency. And we are going to talk to them about some more specifics, but we can have a conversation now. And I first want to say that I'm really sorry. This happened after the last strike as well, that there were two agencies did the exact same thing. And this happened also 5 years ago. Anyone who's interested, I beg you to please listen to the episode with Anastasia Ledick. We'll put it in the show notes where we literally talked exactly about all of these things and all of these behaviors because it happened to her with this one. I think it was a manager who was stealing from everybody.
Wow.
So you signed with this agent, and are you missing money?
I actually am, but it's non-union, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did the checks get cashed?
I don't know. They said they were made.
Great. So here's what I need you to do. So first of all, we're going to talk about you being non-union still because we're going to fix that. But I just want everyone to know when an agent steals from you, my understanding in talking to SAG about what has occurred is SAG is not made to protect you from your agent. They're made to protect you from your employer. And your agent is not your employer. Your agent is like a business partner, essentially. So I don't know how much you're missing. The non-union might actually be something that may not have been cashed yet, but you know that they were issued. Now, how do you know they were issued?
I was sending lots of emails and I talked to the production and they said they sent the money and the check, and then I was like in the middle of an email with
one of the agents
and some of the other people at KMR that were dealing with money, and then it just went radio silent after that.
That's right. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is contact the production company. I want you to write this down.
Get my phone notes out.
Phone notes out.
You sing everything. I sing
Do
everything.
you sing everything?
So when I first listened to your podcast, I was like, whoa, I do that too.
It's charming and obnoxious, whichever one you choose.
But you know what? I love it. So
Great.
it's great.
I love it.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to contact, how many production companies are we talking about?
Just one.
Okay, so you're going to contact the singular production company.
Okay.
And you are going to say to them, hi, I have this job. I was told the check has gone out, because the non-union place may be lying to you. They almost always tell you that they're sending it out, but non-union will take 4 to 6 months to send you their checks.
Okay.
Okay, so they may be lying to you.
Okay.
And so if they say, yes, it has, say, thank you so much. Will you just tell me the check number of the check that has been sent? And if they're like, oh, well, I don't know, I'm sitting here, which can happen, then say, oh, I absolutely understand. I'll hold. So you're going to tell me, I'm going to hold and wait for you to go find that check number.
Okay.
And then if they say, problem is that the person who handles the accounts is oh, great. Who is that person? And what's their direct phone? And what's their direct email? And can you go ahead and transfer me to them right now anyway? And I'll leave a voicemail, because they may be lying and that person doesn't exist. And so if you're like, hey, can you transfer me to them right now? Like, oh, we don't actually have a way to transfer you. Okay, so then it's all lies.
Yeah.
Okay. So then what you need to do is say, okay, well, I am going to need a check number, and I'm going to need a copy of that check. If it hasn't gone out yet, that's fine. I just need to know.
Okay.
So just so that they don't feel like they have to like lie to you.
Yeah.
Okay. And then if they're like, oh, well, I think it has gone out, but I'm not sure. So that probably means then it hasn't been made.
Okay.
And they're holding on to your money. Then what you have to do is like every day call and email, like a follow-up email,
Okay.
and say, hey, This is Jo Marie, and I worked blah, blah, blah. Here's the job number. Here's the name of the spot. Here's the date it worked. I'm just calling to see if a check was issued. And also, when you talk to the person that you talked to originally, make sure they know if it wasn't issued, it needs to not go to the agent. It needs to be mailed out to you directly.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. But I do want everyone to know, you especially, if your checks are taking too long, you need to start calling at 14 days and find out
Wow.
where your money is.
That soon?
Absolutely. And not to the agent, to production. You need to find out where the check is, has it been mailed, has it been cashed, and just check and make sure that everything's on the way, because no one's in a hurry to get you paid. And lots of people are going to steal, and lots of people are going to delay, right? They want the money sitting in their bank account so it can continue to accumulate interest. And I'm like, okay, well, I can't control what you're going to do to anyone else, but you're not going to do that to me. So I'm going to call you on day 14 and let you know I'm expecting that money. And then I'm going to call you at day 20 again and see where that money is. And I'm going to call you on day 25 and just check and see where that money is. And then you can email me a copy of that check.
And then when it takes forever to go to from your agent, then you also do that?
So you can, with your agent, say to them, oh, great. So I just talked to payroll. Here's a copy of the check. I had them email it to me. It should be in your office in the next day or two. And if you're like nervous about it, you can say, let me know when you have it and I'll go ahead and pick it up.
Okay.
Because otherwise it's like
Rather than
always
mail.
lost in the mail, lost in the fucking mail, right? Now, you may not have that problem with your agents, but the great Lori Handler says where there's smoke, there's fire. So if you do have that, then you need to treat it very seriously, because when I talk about exploitation, this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who are stealing from people who feel that they are not in a position where they can stand up for themselves.
Yeah.
Because to me, especially because you're in the disability community as an actor, I think it makes you even more susceptible to be exploited.
Yeah.
Because you feel like you have to be nicer
Yeah.
to get a slice. And that's always the people that get exploited the most.
Yeah.
Is the people that feel like opportunities are few and far between, so they're just going to eat it. And I understand that as much as I can.
Yeah.
But I want you to know it's designed to exploit you. And so if you are a person who wants to be an advocate for people with disabilities, then I would say it starts with you,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
And again, if you can't advocate for yourself, you have to find someone who will.
Yeah.
Like literally, I have friends who call as their friend. But
I know
like,
it's always easier to fight for
it's
someone else.
like, who cares, right? But yeah, have any one of your friends call and be like, hey, this is Jo Marie. Where's my money?
And even being non-union,
Why aren't you joining?
I just haven't yet. I was waiting for the right
Now's the time.
opportunity. Yeah.
I think like safety.
Yeah.
If something happens to you on a non-union set, you are fucked. If something happens to you on a union set, the union will come for them. That's the whole reason. I mean, safety
Yeah.
first, safety first, safety first, safety first. So I understand that you've got experience, but again, when I talk about who is being exploited, it's disgusting.
Yeah. I think another reason I was like holding off too, I mean, minus the safety, that's a very, very good point, is just SAG commercials are very far and few for
That's
me.
a lie.
Really?
What agent? Well, you were with KMR.
Yeah. I feel like, well, I guess I'm only getting the wheelchair
And I just want you to know, it breaks my heart when people say that. There are agents in town who are going to be like, okay, I know you're not thinking about it, but I've got this girl and she would be fantastic for the mom in this role. She's wheelchair bound. Can she come in and read?
You don't say that, but yes.
What do you say?
She's a wheelchair user.
She's a wheelchair
Yeah.
user. Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
She's a wheelchair user. And they will say like, oh, that's actually really interesting. Yeah, let's put her in.
Wow. So I just need someone to be able to
Literally
give
call.
them a good idea, change their mindset.
Don't even change your mindset. Offer them an idea.
Another option.
Casting loves to be creative and agents love to be creative.
Yeah.
They love to bring options that then expand the idea of what everyone thought they were going to cast. And in so doing, it makes the casting director look better. Because like, we didn't even think about that for this role, but it's so much better to have this mom in the State Farm commercial be somebody who is a wheelchair user. Very good. And how great for State Farm and how great for us. And have you get into a car.
Well, that's my thing. I'm like, I've never seen, well, maybe because I don't know, but a wheelchair user.
You haven't.
Yeah.
But you know why you haven't? No one's pitching it.
Yeah.
What a great ad. It would make State Farm look amazing.
Yeah.
Right? And you'd be a fantastic mom in a State Farm commercial.
Thank you.
You would be. You just need an agent who is going to call and pitch. This is another reason why I want you in SAG, is because there's a community of people who know shit.
Yeah.
And you need to be a part of that community. And you need to be giving your information and also getting your information.
Yeah.
But just the information I have just by being involved.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? That I can then give to you. I want you to have that because that's how you prevent being exploited. Here's the thing. I can't control who else is going to get exploited, but I can tell you, you're not going to exploit me. And it's because I know shit.
Yeah.
Okay. I only have one recommendation in terms of watching all of your stuff. I think that you should be in voice class.
Ooh. Yes. I agree with you. After I was injured.
Yes.
My voice was affected. The muscles around my like diaphragm are weaker. Like I can't cough. But I took a few voice classes and I was like, oh, there's a voice in there. But I agree. No, I think I need to continue working on it.
Do you have somebody?
No.
What neighborhood do you live in?
Hollywood.
Okay, great. I'm going to give you some options. And the reason is because sometimes you feel insecure in expressing your voice. And so you're punctuating like this.
With my head?
Yeah. Instead of punctuating
with my voice.
With your voice.
Okay.
Right? And I'm certain it is physiological.
Yeah.
But there are muscles like anything else. They can be trained.
Yeah.
But I do think you should be with somebody who's very highly qualified given your specific circumstances, especially when it comes to breath and breath capacity, because it sounds like that's what you're dealing with. And so breath and breath capacity is very exhausting work, but I think it will give you more range in general, because it always does.
Okay.
And like when I think of all that you've been through and also are always going through, it's interesting. It's like the range of what you've experienced is so vast.
Yeah.
And having a vocal range that is as in depth as the experience you've had, I think could be really beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
No, I like that. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, really good. There's nothing like wrong. It's just for the kinds of roles that you are getting out for sometimes, these series regular roles, I think if you get ahead of it, then when you get cast, instead of what could happen, which is we have a girl and she is an actor with a disability and we're going to give her some lines, we're going to have her be a series regular, but we're going to kind of make her role kind of like a little light over there, versus somebody that comes in and shows the fuck up.
Yeah.
And they're like, and then they write the shit out of your role because you can handle it.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what I bet you want. And that's what I want for you. You're doing really well. And you're having a lot of fun, which I really love seeing. Okay, last thing that we're ending with this season, what does success look like to you?
I think that's a great question. Being able to pay medical bills and not have to worry about it.
Yeah.
That's a big struggle with health insurance and like working. So not having to worry about that, but also like, working on a TV show regularly would be amazing.
That is amazing.
That would feel so successful.
And it would hopefully take care of the medical bills.
And then that would take care of medical bills.
Really great. What do you wish somebody had taught you or managed to get you to understand when you were just a wee babe entering this business?
I feel like when I first started, it was like acting. You can only do acting. If you're not focused on acting, then I don't know. It was just so obsessive and I wasn't necessarily living life. And then I think after my accident, I was like, oh, shit can get taken away from you in a fucking second. You need to enjoy life. I saw people this couple, I will never stop thinking about them, but they worked their butt off so they could retire at 40, went on a bike ride, and this guy became paralyzed. Like, you need to enjoy your life. Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
As it is.
Yeah.
Yes. Great.
Yeah.
That's really great. And Do you have anything mildly interesting that you would like to share?
Yes.
Okay, I'm ready.
I remember hearing this question and I was like, oh, I have a great, well, I don't know. Now I hyped it up. Chocolate mushrooms.
Yes.
Do you know these?
I do know of these.
Oh, man. Okay.
No, it's right. Everyone else doesn't.
You need to know about them. I'm obsessed with them. They're little chocolate mushrooms, which sounds gross, but they're little like cookie stems with like a mushroom head that's made of chocolate, and they're very delicious. I love them. I eat them often. And you can get them at Costco.
I just saw them at Costco.
Did you?
And they're
I
so great.
feel like they were like a little bit sneaky for a while, and they were hard to find, and now they're like,
Costco.
People love them. People love them.
Really wonderful. Now tell everyone where they can follow you. Are you doing SelfTapeMay this year?
Yes.
Yay. What's your
am.
intention for SelfTapeMay?
Well, it snuck up on me. I was like,
Yeah, I know.
it's already May.
I know.
I don't know if I've picked one yet, an intention.
Great.
Yeah.
I think make it easier on yourself and just do things you've already done.
Repeat.
I love a repeat.
Yeah.
But this SelfTapeMay is transformation / Bridgerton. You own any like wigs?
No, I did get a wig, what was it, 2021?
Yeah.
Because I was like, it was cheap off
Sure.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Because I was like, yeah, I want to try wearing a different wig and see how it feels.
Yeah.
But no, I should get a wig. That'd be fun.
Anything like that. That would just be really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. Oh, where can they follow you on social?
JoMarie_Lawrence, JoMarie_LAWRENCE.
And your SelfTape account?
It's Maytapes_JoJo.
Maytapes_JoJo. Last thing, you get to pick a plushie.
To keep?
Yes, it's for you.
Oh my God, I love that. Seriously? Oh my God, I'm so excited. That made me very excited.
That's how I feel about it.
Wait, they're
Literally
so
on any
freaking
side.
cute.
I know.
Okay, let me look.
Okay, great. I'm super excited.
Love that. Where was that little one with the unicorn horn?
This one?
Yeah.
This little baby?
I like him.
Hey, Megan.
He's so cute. Thank you so much. I love that.
Welcome. Look at this little happy
amazing.
little baby. Yay.
We're happy together.
Well, thank you so much for coming. Can I give you a hug?
Yes, please. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much to JoMarie. You are wonderful, and I am thrilled for your journey here in LA and beyond. This episode was mixed and mastered by Thomas Hank Snodgrass. He loves to surf. Hang 10, buddy. It was produced by my incredible producer / husband, Jesse Lumen. Still so handsome. What is wrong with you? What happened? Why? Why? It is not fair. It's appreciated. I appreciate it. Like I appreciate it. But also why? This episode was edited by Matthew Patrick Davis. Show music by Ari De Niro. Theme song by Alok Mehta and 108 Hill. And lastly, not leastly, don't forget your towel. What does it mean? You don't know. You have to guess. Don't forget your towel.